Hi Librans and hi everyone else who's watching. Let's do 3-card tarot for the sign of Leo now. Having a shuffle of tarot of the Sephiroth, which is the deck I'm using this week. And let's see, what is the first card that's going to come out? So, first card for Libra, please. And it's the Three of Swords. Right, this can be a very difficult passage, actually, a very difficult journey. And look, they're actually, left to right. I'm getting really confused with left to right on this camera. They're crossing over right here in the sign of Libra. So this is actually hitting, and may even already have hit, the balanced feeling of things. And more than likely hit your ability to feel like you can bring things into balance in some way, Libra, but you can. That's what you're good at, so don't worry about it. What we see here is the real big, kind of great big sword of the magician coming right down through the middle there, and it's cutting right through the two smaller swords, which to me in this situation are kind of the smaller things of life, which can feel like the bigger things of life, because let's face it, a sword is a sword at the end of the day. And you know, these two smaller swords, these are kind of things that are going on in your life. I would say, Libra, these are going to be representing the most difficult things to balance in your life at this moment. But remember, you do have a good deal of magic about you, particularly if you're willing to consult the tarot again and again. So remember, this great big magician's sword coming through is going to cut through all that. But there's just one thing, Libra. This great big sword in the middle, well, none of these swords are pointing upwards, are they? Now, the Three of Swords often comes up around bereavement, things which we can't avoid, things which we can't help, which are, nevertheless very devastating things. So bereavement is perhaps the most extreme of those. But this does show a fair bit of trouble. But it tends to show that the trouble has passed or is about to pass and is about to move on. We've got quite a dark night indicated at the top here, but there is something of a moon in the sky. Now, let me just have a closer look. It seems to, is it a moon, or is it attached to the sword, or is it part of the astrology symbol there? We just don't know. That's the mystery of things. And as I'm always saying, the energy of these readings is aimed at different people in different ways. So you must read into that what you will, Libra. But although things are pointing downwards here, this is things that need to get dealt with, that need to get cut through. This essentially it's a bit like grief. It's not healthy to grieve all the time, but there's something kind of healthy and something really essential in grieving when you've been through something difficult. Do you need to cry? Sorry if you do, but we all do sometimes. It's, because the process of life, it breaks us down from time to time. And, when we're small children, we fall over and it hurts, and it might be something that to an adult seems nothing, but it can feel like the end of the world to a child. And as we go through life, we get desensitized to certain things. This looks like new pain, Libra, but it's new pain that has happened. It's new pain that is almost in the past. It's just a question of keeping going with the journey here, because when you get pushed down like that, the only way is up, and that is really, really a vital thing to remember. Okay, let's go and find something more about that then in Work Your Light by Rebecca Campbell, which I'm using this week. And the camera keeps making me point things the wrong way. It's not the camera's fault, it's because I haven't learned to flip the screen on this thing. But hey, there you go. Tell us more, please, about the Three of Swords in this reading for the sign of Libra. Tell us more, please, about the Three of Swords. The cards are all over, but this is the one that jumps out. Council of Light. Divine orchestration, help us in the subtle realms. There you go. These readings tend to be very spiritual from me. I've been quite open that they'll be kind of, tell some kind of fortune, that they'll go into love, money, whatever, career, all the things people wonder about. But this really looks like spiritual path that's going on here, particularly with the Three of Swords, which I've got down here. So there's the Three of Swords, which actually came up. There is all that downward motion, there is all that cutting through. But remember, the magic of the magician's sword is actually cutting through these other things which are going on. So it's on the way to a very positive outcome, and there is all that help there. This looks like a great string of chakras stretching from beneath your feet to way above your head. This is almost like the 12 chakra system, guys, where we really gel with the universe, we really come together. And it says, help us in the subtle realm, okay? So what's going on is divinely orchestrated and the help is there, okay? When we come up into these battles and life gets really hard, it's because spiritually we're ready to actually deal with it, to start actually making that journey. I've forgotten to pull this out. Let's just bring it out there. I do like having that thing out. It's kind of a very lucky thing for me. Are we too superstitious? A lot of people say that about tarot people. But when you get the Three of Swords, you know, you do need some help, and it is pointing us very strongly towards the higher realms, even though it's pointing down. When we get right down there, the only way to look is up, because the only way to go is up, really, when you think about it, when you hit the bottom. So let's have the middle card in this spread, please. Two together, okay. Why ever not? Right. Put the rest of the deck out of the way, and we've got Nine of Swords inverted. Right. Now then, in the Nine of Swords, when it's the right way up, the meaning that particularly jumps out at me, if this was the right way up, is that kind of intellect is replaced by kind of more passionate things, more earthy things. Well, Libra, your air sign energy and a bit of grounding never does any harm. But with this sword, with this card this way up, and it is a sword card, you know, so it is really about Libra, and energy could also be about Aquarius or Gemini around you, or in your chart, or in part of your life somewhere. But this is about taking a more intellectual approach to things, and this being the middle card of the reading is pretty much the heart of the matter. There's nothing kind of wrong with going for everything in the worldly most basic way, because that is how things tend to operate, to be quite honest. That's the way the world is at the moment. But just don't forget your thoughts, don't forget your intellect. All these swords are different lengths, there's difference everywhere, and once again we've got the great magician's sword in the middle, only because this card is reversed, because it's inverted, that sword is now pointing up, okay, and it's the heart of the matter. So we've got a very positive inversion there, we really have. That is a great card to have upside down, in my humble opinion. Also, that just fell out with it was the Five of Wands there, and that came out the right way up, and very much about Leo energy, and just a little bit of Saggy, I think. No, that is a complete mistake, sorry. Definite Leo energy here, a definite need to show out, okay? The Wands, very much about getting things done. It's fire sign energy, it's Aries, Leo, Sagittarius around you, all those things within yourself, Libra. But it's all part of the balancing act. You may need to call on other people, you may need to call on other energies as you go along. So let's go into Work Your Light and say, tell us more please about Nine of Swords reversed and Five of Wands the right way up in this reading for the sign of Libra, which, by the way, I'm doing in early August 2019, because some people like to know. But the best time to watch this is when you're drawn to it and it just finds its way onto your YouTube, okay? So really the best time for this is now. And telling us more about the Nine of Swords reversed and the Five of Wands the right way up, we have got Soul Family. Call in your tribe. You don't have to do it alone. Right, now, this is all part of the alchemical thing of turning these downward pointing, grievous, kind of almost bereaved Three of Swords there into something that's more intellectual and is actually turning the negatives on their head. Very positive indeed. Soul Family, and again, it's a spiritual path matter, this. Have you really asked the angels for help with this? Do you even believe the angels can help? It can be an issue for people. I've been believing in the angels for a very long time now. And even so, sometimes I think, but yeah, they wouldn't bother helping me with a little thing like this. Little things, big things. You see, we don't really know what's a small detail and what's a big detail, but the angels do. So ask them to help. And bear in mind, in terms of a soul family, there's a soul family in this earth, on this world, in this earth somewhere that we can relate to, okay? We all have friends. Even if you're someone who spends all your time on the internet and kind of that in a sense is your only friend, we've got social networking. Leave me a comment on this video, we'll have a chat, you know, other people might then join in. That's really great when that happens. Families are always coming together, and the hard world of YouTube doesn't seem like the place to bring a family together, but nevertheless, that's what it's done, you know, no denying it, that's what it's done. So the soul family is there, guys, helping you to turn the negatives into positives, helping to get things off the ground, helping to make things happen. And there's a bit of fiery wands energy in there as well. Okay, so now then, let us shuffle again in Tarot of the Sephiroth. And let's have the outcome card, please, of this 3-card spread, which is actually going to be a 4-card spread, because we have 2 together. But let's have the outcome card, please. And the outcome card we've got is 7 of Wands. Right, so we're into fire sign energy again. We're really getting things done here now. Okay, so we've got 2 sword cards, which are all about kind of air signs, Libra, Aquarius, Gemini. We've also now, even though it's a 3-card spread, this is the alchemy of the tarot, we've ended up with 4 cards, and 2 of them are wand cards, so we've got fire energy as well. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, around you or in you somehow. Maybe they're not around you yet. Maybe they're going to come in and help, because this is an outcome card. I just got this strong urge to say, be sociable. 7 of Wands, you know, there's a stuckness about this, and there is a need to stop and look back, okay? But this reading has really all been about turning negatives into positives, and sometimes that means we've got to stop and reevaluate. Doesn't mean anything is actually being prevented from turning positive, not at all, but it does mean stop, look, listen in so many ways. Like the different length swords in the other card, all these wands seem to be different lengths, and yet somehow they're all in balance around this circle, which is very sun-like. It's that fiery energy. We've got Mars there, and we've got Leo. Now, Mars gets a bad press for being all about hostility and war and everything, but it can do great things, particularly when it's retrograde, but not just then. Mars is a very, very powerful influence, and Mars in Leo is saying, like, get out there, get things done. Okay, Libra, don't hide away, really, when this card comes, because Wands energy is great for actually getting things done. It really is. So is Mars, and Leo is saying, don't be afraid to be out there. Don't hide your light under a bushel. And that plays into the whole idea of asking for friends to help, whether that be from the spiritual realms or from the earthly realms. I would recommend both, you know. People are fantastic, really, when you need help. You'd be surprised. We live in this world, it's always kind of, you know, people and the media and everyone's trying to tell us, oh, you've just got to look after yourself. Nobody cares about anybody anymore. But people do. You know, if you're really starting to kind of think that might be the case, do, you know, just go out more, meet people more. Because most people are fantastic, you know. Even if you've been really badly treated by other people, and that's what kind of keeps you back from the world. If you go out there and meet new people, you know, you'd be surprised, like 99% of them are going to be great. It's just the way of things, you know. It's the way of things. But it's also the way of things that, you know, we become concerned and we become worried by that too. It's human nature, but hiding from it does nothing, okay? So, take notice of this card. Loads and loads of wand energy here. What's holding you back? Don't let it hold you back for too long, because we got Mars in Leo there. Alright, so that is getting things done. And telling us more about that, we have Unbound from Work Your Light by Rebecca Campbell. Is it? Yes. Work Your Light by Rebecca Campbell. I should know just from looking at the card, but that's readings for you. Unbound, and it says, releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. Let them go, guys, okay? Whatever's happened here, you see, this 3 of Swords card does tend to mean that the thing has happened, that it's in the past. One of the most, well, I think the first reading I got after my mother passed away long ago was actually this card from another deck. I think it was in the Rider-Waite deck, and it came up, and the guy doing the reading was a medium, and he said, I get the feeling you've had a lot of grief. And then he said, is your mum still alive, Andy? And before I had a chance to answer, he turned over the 3 of cards, the 3 of Swords card, and he said, oh no, she's passed. And you know, that does kind of tend to be the nature of what this card indicates. Certainly not always to do with death, certainly not to do with people getting hurt. That is just because that's what I was going through. That was the energy of the moment that the card brought up. But it does mean that things have happened, that things haven't been good, and maybe that things aren't good now. So Unbound, let them go, because this thing about releasing soul contracts, releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives is really, really important to do. we only kind of get bound down by the past if we let ourselves, okay? And it's not just letting ourselves, it's just kind of not going with the impetus to move forward, which is always there in life somewhere, guys. Big theme of this reading seems to be get out there, ask your friends for help. Another theme of this seems to be don't forget the angels have your back. That's come up a lot this week, so I know they're close. Well, I'm going to end it there. Thank you very much indeed for watching, Libra. I'll be back with more readings soon. Hope you don't mind this crazy new format, but it seems to work. It seems to work. And I hope your week seems to work. In fact, I hope it really does work. Have a good one, Libra. Thumbs up, please, if you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe and tap that bell. It's the top one, please, as well. And God, it's getting complicated, isn't it? And I'll be back very soon. Peace.